light switch is a long way away.
Go ahead, that's all right.
No, see,
So,
Moonlight.
yeah, I'm better when you can't see me. It's okay. So we thought about it. We thought, how are we going to do this? We can do the research. We can disseminate the information. We can tell people why this person is the best constitutional conservative and why they're going to win. And they'll all stick to their own candidates anyway. You can try to herd cats, but they'll go their own way. It's the nature of cats. It's the nature of voters. It seems to be especially the nature of conservative and libertarian voters. So what to do? What you have to do is to allow the cats to select their own candidate. And so we propose to hold a caucus. At the caucus, all candidates will be welcome. But you can be assured the way the word is going out, it is going to be mostly conservatives and libertarians that are going to be attending for that caucus. The goal then is to have all the candidates represented initially, have the people coalesce into their groups, and the smallest two groups will be dissolved. There'll be some politicking between rounds. Representatives of the candidates will be allowed to be present. Representatives of the candidates that are willing to chip in a little have a tent outside of some brochures, but inside everyone will be allowed to be represented and to make the case for their candidate. Another round of caucusing will be held. The groups will be a little larger, and again the smallest two groups will be dissolved until finally we'll end up with just two groups on the floor, one of which will be, we hope, obviously larger, and at that point that'll be the caucus winner. One thing we're going to ask, you come to this caucus, as a New Hampshire either registered Republican or registered independent that's not recently taken a Democrat ballot, and we're going to ask you to commit as you come in to spread the word of the results of the caucus and to tell everybody that this was the candidate that got the most votes, that is the closest for the majority of people to being a constitutional conservative. May not be everybody's first pick, but he or she should be everybody's first or second or maybe third pick, as opposed to letting the establishment pick for us, because if we don't do anything, the end result that Diane said, we always end up with a moderate. Why do we end up with a moderate? Because a lot of conservatives think they can do better. You end up with almost 20 conservatives, almost 20 candidates, of which maybe 15 are some measure of conservative in this race. And so what you get is the vote is spread very thin, and you only need a well-funded candidate to pull maybe 20-25% out of that field, and he looks like the winner. Well, if you can pull a reasonable amount of people and enthusiasm behind a caucus winner, all of a sudden you don't just have one spike in that field of noise, you have two. Maybe yours is even bigger than the establishment's candidate. And so the idea is to launch somebody, first of all with the publicity from the caucus, and then by the caucus goers and their friends helping to spread the word, to launch a conservative candidate out of New Hampshire instead of a moderate one. And that's the entire goal. So we've been working this since the depths of winter and helping spread the word and going to meetings all over New Hampshire, and we're continuing to do so. We've had a couple of rounds of training for the people that are interested in assisting us and spreading the word about the caucus. The caucus is now about 5 weeks away, if I'm counting properly, Saturday the 17th of October. It's going to be at the Hopkinton Fairgrounds, which is just a little way up Route 89. That's the road to Dartmouth that branches off by Concord, if you're familiar with New Hampshire. And the reason why is because it's easy to get at, it's cheap, that's important. They have a building that will hold about 1,500 people. And it's fairly central for the state of New Hampshire.
Time? Excuse me, what time is that? Is it an all-day thing?
That'll be an all-day thing.
Yeah.
So Diane, you've got the time
let
for
me
the event?
give you the schedule more or less now. By the way, we have lots of literature over here on the bar, and we can pass some of it around if you want. What we've got is a number of press releases that were written by national press after our last summit and some other stories. So they're interesting.
Very slants, of course.
Read them, with the open mind that the newspaper is writing to sell papers, and sometimes they don't get the facts exactly straight. They pretty much labeled us as the group who was going to assassinate Jeb Bush. And that wasn't quite the image that we wanted.
That may or may not be a side effect.
So, but at any rate, so we've also got information about the caucus, the dates and so forth. But you can also look on our website, which has all the information, tons of information on there. But the schedule for the day, we're going to start off from 8 to 10 in the morning on Saturday morning. Any of the candidates who want to have a rally on the grounds with their supporters to kick off the caucus will be allowed to from 8 to 10. They'll have space designated for them. They can set up a tent, whatever they want to do, have their members and rally. Then at 10 o'clock we open the doors, and that's when the voters come in. Now these voters, many of whom will already have been vetted because they've signed up online, and those voters will be checked in. Those who haven't signed up ahead of time will go through the vetting process. They'll have to show their photo ID, and then they'll get a wristband which doesn't come off. That's the kind of thing you get at the hospital that it can only be cut off. So they'll have one of those. That means that they can go in and out of the arena. Outside with our food vendors and music going on and speakers and all kinds of things going on. So when everybody has been checked in, at 11:30 we close the check-in and we start the caucus. Depending on how long it takes for each of the rounds, we may go 2 hours, it may go 3 hours, we don't know. What I would like to ask all of you, if you're interested in watching this historic thing go on, and if you have the day free, and if you'd like to come and help us, we would love to have you come. And I'll tell you why. Because we need marshals to do the counting of the people in the groups. Because obviously, at some point, the groups are going to be, some of them, maybe right off the bat, may be about the same size. So it's going to be a very difficult process to actually count exact numbers so we know who's getting eliminated. The people who live in New Hampshire are the voters. They can't be the counters. We need impartial people. So you folks who are not eligible to vote are perfect people who can help us with that task of being a marshal.
Not to mention the fact that we're hoping we can make this work. We have a fairly high degree of confidence in a lot of interested participants. If this works, it's a model for you to also help promote a conservative candidate over the average in Massachusetts, because you have a Republican primary too, a little later than ours.
So Mama's got some, you want to just hand those out? And these are, if you're interested in signing up to be a volunteer, you don't have to do it now. You can take it home and think about it, or call us, or check out the website. You can send it to us, or if you know for sure that you want to do that, then you can fill it out and hand it back today. So to elaborate a little bit more about the end of the process, when we get down to the point where we have 4 candidates left, at that point we're going to take a little break. And now, up till this point, the candidates themselves will not be in the caucus arena. It would be too disruptive to have them there. They can have their surrogates, they can have their team, their staff, and at each of the breaks, those people can be trying to recruit the people whose group has been eliminated. Where are you 10 people now going to go? Where are you 50 people now going to go? Split them up. That's where the caucus part of it comes in, and that's going to be the fun part. Could get interesting. So after that, when we get down to 4, as I say, we'll take a little break. We'll tell those 4 candidates, if they are in the area, they may come in and speak at the podium. We'll give them the microphone, they can make their speech. At that point, we no longer eliminate 2 per round, we eliminate 1 at a time. Mathematically, it works out to be more fair. So at the end, then, of course, whoever is still standing is the winner of the caucus. We'll have lots of media there, and I know that they're gonna really play that up. I think the second and the third place are also going to be given a lot of press and publicity at that point. Have I forgotten anything, Mike? Did we cover everything?
I don't think so. You've got the time, you've got the place. The actual building is called the Durgin Pulley Arena.
Oh, yeah, we have maps over here. Give you some of those, excuse me. Do you have any questions?